Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California Weather Watch. Today is February 24th, and right now we are looking at the infrared satellite imagery. Check out this monster storm off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. Almost looks like it has an eye to it. It is bringing some light precipitation here across portions of California, but after this moves through, we're going to warm up for a few days, but we do have additional systems that are trying to make their way into California that could include some of Southern California as well. We'll dive into those details as we go through the video here this morning, and you can see this. Let me know if you guys are getting any of this precipitation or if this is falling as virga, because the models aren't showing too much of it. Some of the Central Coast, some of the San Joaquin Valley. This is probably precipitation, no doubt, here across Northern California. It's probably pretty breezy there as we go through the morning hours and on into today as well. But yeah, let me know if you're seeing some of that. You can see the mid-level clouds streaming across the area right now. The marine layer fairly absent here from the Southern California coastline. And if you want a nice affordable home weather station, it's got its own lightning detection system. It's got a great smartphone app. Helps support the channel. Click on the link down below to save 10% off. So heating up this week for some of the desert areas. Check it out. El Centro, California. Look at 91, 91 Tuesday, Wednesday. And Phoenix getting close to some record highs, but not breaking them, as you can see. You can see Blythe, they're hitting 90 a couple days as well. Yuma, 90 degrees a couple days also. So back to Northern California, though, where we still have some high surf advisories. We've got some storm warnings just kind of clipping Northern California coast, some wind advisories and some high wind warnings still in effect right now. And this is going to go on in through this afternoon, the strong winds at least shown on the Eureka National Weather Service graphic there. And you can see some of the max wind gust speeds here. Red Bluff, Redding, 30, 35, Sims, 30 miles per hour. Higher across the higher terrain, though, no doubt. Now, this is the Bay Area talking about the hazardous conditions along the coast and beach with breaking waves of 15 to 18 feet expected. So keep that in mind if you're headed out towards the coast today. Large shore break, rough surf zone, strong currents. You might not want to be out there swimming. I'm sure some of the surfers will be taking advantage, though. Now, taking a look here at what is going on. This is that big storm system there impacting the Pacific Northwest. We get a bit of ridging here, and we're going to warm up for a bit this week. But then we have this cutoff low that's going to be moving in here. And models have a hard time with this. So although it's not showing a lot of precipitation here, I'm kind of holding out hope that it will bring more than what is being forecast right now. And again, the GFS and the European, pretty good agreement with the cutoff low being developed here right off the coastline. And then it's going to hang out for a bit. The GFS a bit stronger and lasts a bit longer there. And then we've got another system right towards the end of last night's European run coming in, and that could potentially impact much of the state as well. The GFS also showing this troughing here as well. So we have that to look forward to coming up. But let's take a look at precipitation events. You can see the GFS not showing much as we go through this morning here for Central California. That's why I was wondering about that showing up on the Doppler radar. But there goes that strong low towards the Pacific Northwest. We get a few warm days here for much of California. Cutoff low forms. And again, the models have a hard time with this. These can't overproduce in some of the precipitation that they produce. But, you know, that's not too bad. It brings something here, and it'll bring some clouds and cool things down at least. And then the next system could be a bit more impactful. You can kind of see it track down the coastline there as well, bring some mountain snows and maybe some rainfall to Southern California, probably additional bump in the wave action as well. Then there's another one lurking out here that we'll have to watch as we go on through the extended forecast. Now, quickly looking at this, National Weather Service San Diego does mention Santa Ana winds, but again, just because you hear that, don't get alarmed. You can see the northerly winds down the desert areas, but these northeast winds are on the weak side, so we're not really too concerned about it. You could get some gusts up towards 40 miles per hour and some dry conditions. I mean, you don't want to go out there starting fires or anything like that. It doesn't take much, but still, a very weak Santa Ana wind event here as we go through the next few days. And now looking at maximum individual wave height, you can imagine that storm up across the Pacific Northwest, kicking some waves down the California coastline. Get a little bit of a break here as we go through mid and the end of the week, but then we bring some additional wave action with some of these lows, and there goes that next system as we head through next week. And so we'll be watching those over the next few days as well. So GFS, total precipitation in inches. We're going to let that scroll through today, then we get a few days off of precipitation, but then we got this cutoff low, and you can see, again, not showing too much, but again, models can have trouble with those systems. And then the more advanced system here, or probably a better, more well-developed system, will move across the region as we go on into the extended forecast. And again, we do have the chance for precipitation through Southern California, so that's a good thing. It's a starter. We'll be watching those systems over the next few days. Now, looking at the 12Z GFS, this is at 5,000 feet. There goes the system right now, but then you can kind of see the ridge here. We warm up a bit on in through the day Thursday. Cutoff low starts to approach as we go through the day Friday. It doesn't warm up the entire state or the entire Southwest by any means, but this next system looks a little bit better with cooling things down. A more substantial system would come in there towards the weekend and on in through early next week, so that'll be something fun to watch. Now, if we look at 2-meter temperature anomaly, running a daily total here. So this is from that system in the Pacific Northwest, but look at us warm up as we go through the end of the week coming up. But then the cutoff low comes around and it cools things down a bit. And then the more substantial system, again, as I've been mentioning. Now, taking a look at the National Blend Models, total precipitation in inches. This one is hot off the presses. Let's see what it has to say. There's an initial system, get a few days off, and then we bring the cutoff low. It looks like the cutoff low doesn't want to bring too much in the way of precipitation, but maybe some more substantial systems as we go on into the first week of March. March can be pretty active here across the state of California, so I'm liking to see that potential as we go through the first week of March or so. Now, looking at daily 2-meter maximum temperatures. So you can see the desert's getting up towards 90 degrees as we go through the day tomorrow. Some upper 60s out there. Not a bad day. Southern California warming up quite nicely as well. You see some mid and upper 70s, some 80s even for some of the higher terrain there as well. Look at Death Valley, probably into the lower 90s. This is Wednesday. We warm up even further. Look at the mid 70s coming all the way up towards the Central Coast, and some 80 readings probably for some of Southern California there. And then we go on into Thursday. Look at that 75 up towards Redding. 77 on Friday, probably the warmest day Friday. Widespread mid and upper 70s for a lot of the San Joaquin and the Sacramento Valley, the Bay Area. A nice day out there, and the desert areas, upper 80s or so. But then we start to cool off a bit as we go through the upcoming weekend, as that system would be moving in during that time frame. 6 to 10 day. This goes through March 5th, and you can see the above average. Like to see that right here, so thumbs up for that. There's the 6 to 10 day, kind of a mixed bag here across the Southwest. 8 to 14 day continuing to show maybe some above average chances as we go through March 9th, and there's the 8 to 14 day below as well. Now, average temperature over the October 1st, that's the start of the water year, all the way through February 23rd, which was yesterday. You can see the entire state of California largely above normal, except for some coastal portions of Southern California and some of Northern California. But the Southwest, yes, it has been above normal here since October 1st. This is percent of average precipitation since the water year started. You can see Northern California clearly in a different world here versus Southern California. Even though we had a couple good systems moving through, it just, it's still, we are below normal since the water year has started. So anyway, yeah, pretty active day up here across the Pacific Northwest in the meantime. But yeah, hopefully these storm systems can bring some additional rainfall to California. We can still be active into March and April, so we'll continue to watch that in the extended forecast as well. But otherwise, I hope you guys are having a good day. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I will talk to you guys then.